All right, business economics videos 2, 3, 4. We're just going to chuck them together. Apologies in advance, Dan, if you're watching this, mate. All right, I don't have any business economics student work. I haven't taught that just yet. We've gotten into other subjects yet. I've jumped on to the Kara, and I can talk a little bit about the examples that are provided there. I thought they could have provided better examples, to be honest. But before I do that, I think it's best if we go back. So what I want to start about, so if we're talking about students' work, evidence of it, and feedback, I think it's got to kick it off with email address. I think it's got to kick it off with the Vic curriculum for me, and it's got to be explicit. It's got to be clear, content, skills, knowledge. Then we know what we're measuring ourselves against in terms of what's being provided. This is obviously we're not measuring students against each other. It's their own students' growth, but at least this provides us the detail. So this leads into, so I've got some examples here of some other ones, but this leads into our rubrics. So I've done a couple of these, and this is what we use in my lessons. So this goes, the VCAR content knowledge for the unit goes into the lessons, goes into the activities. Students are aware of this, students are explicit, it's on the board, they know what they're learning against. Every student is their own growth, so we do pre-tests. And post-knowledge. With that, measure their growth. So as the teacher is able to see whether or not it's been effective. The rubrics with the activities the students they use it. We talk about it to begin with at the start of the lessons, the start of the activities, and start of the learning coursework. Then as they're progressing through the activity, we use that to check back on as well. They will mark themselves. They will sort of visualize their learning, so metacognitive learning. And they always mark themselves very harsh. And then we'll use that to provide explicit, content-related, rather than generalized feedback. Is the aim. If I was to look back at the Kara one, it's explicit on the language. So a lot of this is really Bloom's, to be honest, which is what we do for a lot of our literacy skills and investigative and inquisitive skills. So whether someone is able to just define, describe, label, detail, versus someone a student that has shown growth in applying, imaginative, evaluating a response to a question. So every student, depending on where their starting position is, pre-test, will receive that scaffolded, in class, majority of, literally all the feedback, other than the formative tests and some of the stuff, and on their work is in class, scaffolded, supported. So I don't get that one because I did want to showcase some work. So this is students' open-ended exercises, a lot of open-ended exercises. You could say that this one is draw businesses in the town, businesses that we're aware of, companies that we're aware of, and the students aren't judged on their drawing ability. It's really open-ended, imaginative, and which is the diversity. So some students like pictures, some people label, some students can choose whichever method. They'll have examples, some will go off the example, will need those scaffolded examples, others are able to really create themselves, which is fantastic. Then take that and then apply it, so to tell me, describe, Bloom's work, why do we have this, why do we not have this? Same exercise, and a student we work with, cutouts, labelling, pasting. So the improvement, so how do we show the students, how do the students know that they've improved? This is in class feedback. So a lot of the work that will be done in the lesson while circulating will be, first of all, the students working with their peers. How am I doing? What am I missing? What am I not missing? So it will be group work, teamwork, making comparisons. A lot of that's Hattie's collaborative learning. And then for the teacher, providing the feedback in the lesson will be return to what the task is, what was asked, what was explicit, what was in the instructions. Some of it will be make comparisons to the I do, we do's. So look at the I do, how does that compare to yours? What do you think? Then the student is then able to make progress in the actual activity as they progress. So I think the aim there is really that it's immediate application. With the work that we do on these sort of exercises, it's the summaries that we do at the end of the lessons. So the feedback and growth will be consequently through to the next lesson. For the prior knowledge, we return to the summaries. And this is all about repetition. It's all about the loss of memory. So we'll do multiple exposures. So at the next lesson, we return to the summaries of the previous lessons. That's the prior knowledges that we kick off with. And then that continues, 3 lessons a week. And then at the end of the next week, we'll then summarise a week as a whole. So that's the feedback that the students will receive in their lesson. That'll eventually go to the data sets, I believe. Pre-tests, a lot of pre-test work for vocabularies, keywords, key knowledges. That helps us know how we progress when the students are then creating those greater sentences and describing words. Just wanted to show another example. This one actually probably more for diverse, I think, creating for learners across a range of topics. Visuals, so a lot of visuals. Here, students are asked for descriptors on the body. Other students can detail and label, and then students can also put it in graphs and different displays. The same as I've had students in the lessons. Some can use Excel, use their devices in different ways, and I've got other students who are doing voice to text. That's all they can do. That's fine. That's just their progress. That's what we're working towards. Learners across a range of topics. We've done Indigenous, so for different lessons, I use a lot of the 8 ways learning, which the students are symbols, materials related. So we've done telling stories about topics, and we've used the images and the symbols of Indigenous symbols to tell stories. And so from what we've learned, put that into symbols on a message stick. So just different hands-on activities, for different needs for different students. Incorporating variety of business. 2:50. Let's go through. I love data sets. I love lookits because it's all about the questions. And we do pre and post, so we can see the growth, we can see what questions are getting wrong. Data sets long term, so this is the learning growth 6 weeks and 11-week marks. We share this with the students. The students are aware of this. They see the flow-on effect from in the lesson to the week to the terms and overall for the year, which is fantastic. That's the purpose of it, to recognise our teaching as well, to see what they are. Immediate feedback on students' spelling, so we'll tell them to respell words, to look up on the walls. Literacy buttons, 2 students I'm able to sit with each lesson to go through in detail, provide immediate literacy work. Can't do that for every student, that's just two students per lesson. I'm able to do that for. That's reading comprehension as well. And 20 seconds for numeracy. Numeracy, I think in one of the exercises we're doing money. So is using it as everyday language, using it as everyday terms, symbols, and also the That's what I want to say was the colours and the images and the patterns, recognising your patterns and all that sort of stuff. So we progress that through every lessons. All right, we'll use it up. Sorry, mate. All the best. Thank you.